One morning he saw a mountain in front of him. It had the shape of a man. When Hercules came closer, he saw that it was a man. He was a giant, a very, very big man. He was carrying the sky on his head and shoulders. Sorry, shoulders. So one morning, Hercules saw a mountain in front of him. I think you all can visualize from this picture Hercules in front of him, a big mountain. It had the shape of a man. I think you all can see here the mountain, it has the shape of a man. When Hercules came closer, he saw that it was a man. Oh my God. When Hercules came closer to the mountain, then he saw that the mountain the mountain was a man, and that man was a giant, a very, very big man. You all can imagine. And that man was carrying this guy on his head and shoulders. Don't you think so? It's a bit non-believable that how it is possible that a man was carrying this guy on his head and shoulders. But it's a story, so no problem. We will believe it. "Who are you?" said the giant in a very loud voice. "I am Hercules. Who are you?" "I am Atlas," that man said. "I hold up the sky. What do you want?" "I want 3 golden apples. Will you help?" "Yes," said the Atlas. "I know the place where they grow. I will get them for you. Will you hold up the sky while I am gone? You are the strongest of all men. You can do it." So the giant asked Hercules, "Who are you?" in a very loud voice. Then Hercules said, "I am Hercules. Who are you?" Then Hercules asked from that giant, "Who are you?" Then that giant said, "I am Atlas. I hold up the sky." Mm, He said, he hold up the sky. Then giant asked from Hercules, "What do you want?" Then Hercules answered, "I want 3 golden apples. Will you help?" Hercules asked from that giant, "Will you help?" Then giant said, "Yes." The Atlas. Atlas was the name of giant. "I know the place where they grow." What Atlas said? Atlas said he knew the place where they grow, and he will get them for Hercules as well. He said he will bring those 3 golden apples for Hercules. Then giant asked from Hercules, "Will you hold up the sky while I am gone?" Hold means in Hindi, if I have to speak here, then it means पकड़े रहना. Let me speak here in Hindi a bit. एटलस ने कहा कि क्या तुम इस स्काई को पकड़े रहोगे जब तक मैं वो तीनों एप्पल्स गोल्डन एप्पल्स लेकर नहीं आ जाता हूँ. Then Atlas further said, "You are the strongest of all men." What Atlas said to Hercules, that you are the strongest of all men and you can do it, means you can hold this sky. Now Hercules was very proud of his strength. He climbed a nearby mountain and took the sky on his shoulders. "That is better," said the Atlas thankfully. Now I will get the apples. He set off. His legs were so long that he could walk through seas and oceans with his head and shoulders above the water. So when Hercules heard that he is the strongest of all men, he felt very proud of his strength, of his power. Who felt very proud? Hercules. Then Hercules climbed a nearby mountain and took the sky on his shoulders from Atlas, so that Atlas can go and bring those three golden apples. That is better, said the Atlas thankfully. Atlas thanked Hercules for taking up the sky. And then further Atlas said, now I will get the apples. Now I will go and bring those apples. And he set off, means he went away. His legs were so long that he could walk through seas and oceans with his head and shoulders above the water. The legs of Atlas were so long that he could walk through seas and oceans, means he can pass the seas and oceans with his head and shoulders above the water. You can imagine he was so long that he could walk the oceans in one or two steps only. In one or two steps only he could cross the big oceans. Hope you all can imagine this. After a while he returned, carrying three beautiful golden apples. Thank you, said Hercules. Now take this sky, please. It is very heavy. Atlas laughed. No, he said. You can hold up the sky. I shall take the apples to your king. He will give me a reward. That is better than holding up the sky. Goodbye. But Hercules was clever. When Atlas began to walk away, Hercules shouted, wait, my shoulders are hurting. Please take the sky for 1 minute while I put my lion skin on my shoulders. So, after some time, Atlas returned and he was carrying three beautiful golden apples. Then, when Hercules saw Atlas, then Hercules thanked Atlas for bringing three golden apples. Then Hercules said, please take this sky from me. It is very heavy. Then Atlas laughed. No, he said. Who said? Atlas. You can hold up the sky. You can keep this sky on your shoulders only, and I shall take these apples to your king, and he will give me a reward. He will give me a prize. And I think this is better than holding up the sky. Goodbye. What he said? He said it is better to go to your king and give these three golden apples and get reward than holding up this sky. But Hercules was clever. When Atlas began to walk, begin is the past form of verb begin, means to start. जब let me speak here in हिंदी. जब एटलस जैसे ही जाने लगा तभी हरक्यूलिस ने चिल्लाया और उसने कहा व्हाट ही सेड वेट माय शोल्डर्स आर हर्टिंग प्लीज टेक दिस स्काई फॉर 1 minute while I put my lion skin on my shoulders. Atlas was not very clever. He believed Hercules. He put down the apples and took the weight of the sky. Hercules immediately bent down, picked up the apples, and ran off. "Goodbye," he shouted. "You hold the sky and I will keep the apples." When he showed the apples to the king was very frightened. He saw that Hercules was a very strong and clever man. He gave the apples back to Hercules. So, when Atlas was about to walk, Hercules shouted, "Wait!" And Hercules said, "My shoulders, these are hurting. This is pain. My shoulders are paining. Please take this guy for 1 minute. After that, I will take it back from you." And why he has asked? Because Hercules said to Atlas, "I wanted to put my lion skin on my shoulders." Atlas was not very clever and he believed the words of Hercules. And then Atlas put down the 3 golden apples which he brought and took the weight of the sky and took the sky from Hercules. Then Hercules immediately bent down. Bent down here means झुक जाना, and picked up the apples and ran off. Then Hercules immediately bent down and picked up the apples and ran away from there. While running, he shouted, who shouted? Hercules, "Goodbye. You hold the sky and I will keep the apples." He said, "You can keep your sky and I will keep the apples. I will keep mine apples." When Hercules showed the apples to the king was very frightened. Frightened means scared, afraid. The king was very afraid. He saw that Hercules was a very strong and clever man. He gave the apples, he gave the 3 golden apples back to Hercules. Can you all think that why the king was very frightened when Hercules showed the apples to the king? Can anyone guess? I think some of you can guess. Let's see whether your guess is correct or not.